Good morning, wrestling fans. Happy Easter, everyone. Today is Sunday, April 9th, 2023. Yes, it is Easter Sunday. Hope everyone is having a great, happy, and safe Easter so far this morning, and hope it gets better the rest of the day tonight. WWE Superstar Sunday returns on A&E after being off last week. No surprise at all that they didn't have him on because of WrestleMania. I'm sure the ratings would have been definitely took a big hit going head to head with WrestleMania Night 2 on that Sunday. But it is back this week with first an all-new episode of Biography WWE Legends. It is also back to 1 2-hour episode. The last couple weeks that it was on was they did the 2 episodes, 1 hour each, but a 2-hour episode is back this week, and this week it is the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, so which should be a very good one. I know there's been a lot of talk before about Dusty Rhodes. WWE did the DVD quite a while ago, but this still should be interesting, more updated, of course. And Cody is, of course, interviewed. Cody's mom and Dustin is shown on the commercial being interviewed for it. So it should be a good one, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the better episodes of Biography that we have seen so far. And of course, I don't remember if they show him in the commercial. I'm sure Ric Flair will be interviewed for it. Definitely wouldn't be surprised at all if Flair is. I know on the commercial they show Hogan being interviewed. Also, right after Biography is Rivals, The Undertaker and Randy Orton. I'm sure their WrestleMania 21 match will be featured, and the rest of their rivalry, the stuff including Randy Orton's dad, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., which I'm sure that'll be a pretty good episode of Rivals. I enjoy watching Rivals, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to say it's really that great. And there are some interviews that are on there that are pretty good. So that's WWE Superstar Sunday tonight on A&E. Real quick, WWE SmackDown again reportedly went smoothly, and the morale was, which was mainly because Vince McMahon reportedly was not there backstage at SmackDown. So that explains why the show was probably a lot better than Raw this past week. And also, I don't think I discussed this when I talked about Rampage from this past Friday night. Darby Allin hit by a car the day before Thursday in New York while on his skateboard. You could see the bruises on his back, but he was cleared to compete anyway, though. Also yesterday, it was reported that Sabu suffered from a medical emergency and needed to be rushed to the hospital. But luckily, he tweeted a little after and said that he is okay and thanked everyone for their well wishes. So it's definitely good to hear that it must not have been too serious, that Sabu is doing okay now. The NWA has announced the dates and location for the 2023 Crockett Cup during their NWA 312 pay-per-view. And it will take place June 3rd and June 4th in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which will be a 2-day event on Fight TV. The Briscoes won it last year in 2022. Also, congratulations to Sky Blue. She is now All Elite, officially has signed with AEW. I've talked about her on the podcast before a little bit lately. Been impressed with her work on Rampage, a little bit on Dynamite, and of course Dark and Dark Elevation. She is now signed with the company. And some more quick news here. Also, New Japan Pro Wrestling, All Japan Pro Wrestling, and Pro Wrestling Noah signaled a joint announcement. They have teaser clips that are pretty identical, almost just about the same. So we will have to wait and see what happens there exactly. And 1 week from tonight is Impact Wrestling Rebellion on pay-per-view from Toronto, Ontario, Canada at the Rebel Complex. I know I've talked a little bit about it before, but so far it looks like a very stacked card, and the main event, we are guaranteed to see a new Impact Wrestling World Champion, either Steve Maclin or Kushida, and this one should be a very good match. I would really like to see Kushida win this one and come out of it as the new Impact World Champion, but I have a feeling that it's going to be Steve Maclin getting the win in this one and walking out the new World Champion. Again, though, should be a very entertaining main event. And speaking of matches that should be very entertaining, the match for the Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Championships, the Bullet Club team of Chris Bay and Ace Austin taking on the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, in an Ultimate X match, which that could steal the show right there. In this one, Sabin and Shelley obviously have been in more Ultimate X matches than Austin and Bay, but who knows? Yeah, who knows gonna walk out with the tag team titles, but one thing is for sure, this is gonna be one you don't want to miss. And I would say in this one, it's one of those situations where it's gonna be such a good match probably that the real winners are everybody that's watching this match. Also, we have the Hardcore War, Team Tommy Dreamer taking on Team Bully Ray. Not the whole teams have been announced just yet, but we do know Darren McCarty will be on Tommy Dreamer's team, Yui Uemura. Team Bully Ray, of course, Bully Ray, the good hands, and lately Tommy Dreamer has been trying to get Scott D'Amore on his team in this match. But so far, Scott has been turning him down since he is the president of Impact Wrestling now. But I would not be surprised at all if we do see Scott D'Amore on Tommy Dreamer's team in this match. And Tommy Dreamer keeps bringing up when he's trying to convince him to be on the team that he's never actually really had a last match. So definitely would not be surprised to see him in this one. It's not going to be a wrestling match or anything. It's going to be, they've had hardcore wars before. It's going to be a brawl, a street fight, lots of weapons, brawling all over the building. And Impact has held shows at the Rebel Complex in the past and never been there live, but just watching it on TV, it does look like a good venue to watch pro wrestling in. This Thursday night on Impact, it will be announced the decision of Mickie James, whether she will be cleared to compete or not and defend the Impact Knockouts Championship. If she is cleared, she will defend in a 3-way match against Jordynne Grace and Deonna Purrazzo. If Mickie James is not cleared and able to compete, then the match will be a singles match for the Knockouts Championship, Jordynne Grace versus Deonna Purrazzo. But if I had to take a guess, and I would say that most likely Mickie James will be competing in this one to defend her Knockouts Championship. Another one here should be a very good match. 3 very talented women, 3 good wrestlers, and kind of hard almost to pick one, either James, Purrazzo, or Grace. I think I'm going to wait a little bit, see if maybe as we get closer to the pay-per-view, maybe do another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic previewing the card. And speaking of the Impact Wrestling Knockouts, the other day got the new Pro Wrestling Illustrated in the mail featuring the Impact Knockouts on the cover. Mickie James, Jordynne Grace, and Deonna Purrazzo, and also Rosemary, Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, and Masha Slamovich are on the cover. Got it in the mail the other day. Also should be available on newsstands or stores, I should say. Do people still say newsstands? If they even have newsstands anymore. I know a lot of people don't really get the physical magazines anymore. It's more so digital now, but I know I'm old school. I still actually read the paper magazines, and Pro Wrestling Illustrated has always been one of my favorite magazines for as long as I can remember, along with back in the day the WWF and WCW magazines and the Bill Apter mags, things like that. Sorry to get carried away. I was talking about Rebellion, and then all of a sudden I start talking about wrestling magazines. And just one more quick news story before I wrap this podcast up is that Madison Rayne was reportedly injured in a match before Rampage, and I'm not quite sure the exact details of the injury or what exactly happened, but there are reports that she was injured before Rampage Friday night in a match, and hopefully she will be okay, not hurt too bad. That's all for this episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, the Easter episode. Hope everyone has a great, happy, safe Easter today, and also hope everyone enjoys WWE Superstar Sunday tonight on A&E. As always, I hope to have new episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic coming at you right here on Spreaker or wherever you listen to 360 Wrestling podcasts. You can also Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, and I'm sure there are more that I'm not thinking of right now. You can subscribe and get them right to you right when they come out. Thank you very much for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow for the Monday morning episode of GMWF. Until then, keep watching pro wrestling.